Hi, I'm Lisa Sudbeck with Wedding Showcase, and we are a family-owned mother-daughter team. And we started Wedding Showcase to help couples bring their visions to life, from the engagement all the way to the happily ever after. Our Wedding Showcase brings the most sought-after wedding professionals under one roof in Northern California. We are so lucky to be here in Northern California, where we are surrounded by beautiful landscapes. So if you want an outdoor wedding, you'll have the perfect spot for it. We bring the most top-notch wedding professionals to the area. So Wedding Showcase is a one-stop shop with the best of the best. And I'll introduce you to my daughter.
Hi, I'm Desiree Blanchard, and I'm with Wedding Showcase. I'm the daughter in the mother-daughter team. We're super excited about our upcoming show. It's going to be Sunday, February 25th at Cal Expo. We are excited to have VIP tickets this year. With the VIP tickets, you'll get 4 entrance tickets. Not only do you get to come in a half hour before general admission, but you are going to be receiving a swag bag full of some goodies. You are going to be entered into some special VIP giveaways that only our VIP ticket holders will be entered into. And you get exclusive access into our VIP lounge. So we're really excited to have VIP tickets this year. And we're looking forward to spoiling our VIPs when they come in early.
Yeah, they get enter a half an hour early before the general public.
Yep. So your entrance time is at 10:30, open to everyone else at 11. You can definitely head on over to our website, weddingshowcase.org, to register and get a discount code on your tickets, whether it's VIP or the general admission. So definitely head on over to weddingshowcase.org and sign up, register your wedding, and get that discount code.
And also the VIP lounge, you get to go into an exclusive VIP lounge where nobody else gets to go, and there'll be some little, probably little hors d'oeuvres, maybe a little sploosh of something, so you'll really get the VIP treatment.
Absolutely. So this week we are talking about wedding planners, coordinators, designers. You know, a lot of people don't know exactly what a coordinator and a planner, what the difference really is. I mean, you know, there's definitely a few differences. There's a lot of overlap. But let me just tell you about my experience this week. I was hanging some decorations and I fell off the banister. And I hurt my arm. And I just think about all the people that are having their event and they are like, oh, it's fine. My family's going to set it up, my friends. And luckily, it was not my event. So I was not injured throughout the event. But that's something that I think about a lot of people don't consider when they're thinking about their wedding and how everything's going to be set up and who's going to be taking care of what. It sometimes can be an afterthought. So that's why it is such an important thing to have a planner, a coordinator, a designer. And let's just talk about how each one is different, how each one does something a little bit different. So as I said, a lot of times they do overlap in responsibilities. But as with any of your vendors, they want to make your day everything you want it to be and more. So with a planner, planners and day of coordinators, they are going to live in the logistics. Yes. They are going to take care of all those details. But when it comes to a planner, they're going to be a lot more involved, and they're going to get involved a lot earlier than your coordinator would. So your planner usually will start from day one when you hire them on. They're going to start that whole planning process with you. They're going to be there every step of the way. They'll be going with you to your different vendor appointments. They'll be helping you find the right vendors for you, even possibly referring you to some vendors.
And take their advice because they've been doing this for a while, so they can pretty much catch your vibe and they can say, hey, I know this person right over here has got the rentals that you want for your wedding.
Absolutely, yeah. So they're also going to be there to help you negotiate your contracts. So maybe that's not your forte. Definitely not always my forte. So it's great to have a professional that sees those contracts day in and day out, and they can help you negotiate that They can catch things in there that maybe you might not have seen the first time that you read it, because again, they live in that, and they're going to be able to know what the contract's supposed to look like. And also you just point out those small details that maybe you
They'll
didn't
see
realize.
those red flags that you may not be aware of.
Absolutely, yes. They're going to help you stay on top of your budget. That's what is great about a planner. So even though a planner might be an extra line expense for you in your budget, they're going to keep you on budget. And again, with those relationships that they have with the vendors, they might be able to get you some nice little discounts that you may not have been able to get without your planner.
Very true, very true.
They'll help you keep track of your budgets. Again, a lot of they're living in that logistics area. So they are going to know when your deposits need to be made. They're going to make sure that the checks are sent out on time. Those final payments, they're going to know all those dates, and they are going to be happy to keep on top of you for that. They're going to create your timeline throughout the day. They'll, keep you on your timeline, because every minute of your day is going to be busy.
And they also
enjoying
work
it.
with the vendors too, so they'll be able to coordinate with your DJ and your MC as to help you, when you're going to be doing your walk-in from your wedding to the reception, because that's kind of a little entrance there, and so they keep that flow going too.
Yep. They're going to help you create the floor plans for your wedding space through the different venues, whether you're having a ceremony site and you're changing for a reception site, or if you're doing it all on one, they're going to coordinate that. If you are having it all in one location, they're going to be helpful to turn it over and coordinate all of the moving parts that you are not going to be seeing, because most likely you'll be out taking your pictures, visiting with your guests.
And there's just things that you really shouldn't be worried about on your wedding day, because you will be doing, your photos and enjoying the moment.
Yep. If you have out of town guests, they might be helping you set up a block of rooms at local hotels. If you're not having your event in a hotel, they're going to help negotiate a nice little price for you at the different local hotels, which is great. They'll manage your rehearsal. They'll go through the whole thing with your wedding party prior to the wedding to make sure that everyone knows and is on the same page of what they need to be doing, where they need to be. Small details that maybe when you're planning, you think everyone knows what they're supposed to do, but simple things like reminding bridesmaids to carry their bouquets below their belly buttons, so those photo ops are going to look great for your photographer. You don't want your bridal party having flowers in their face. So that's, a great thing that your planner is going to remember to say. If you have a full service planner, they may be doing helping you with your design and styling, helping you pick out a color palette, bringing your vision to life. If you've got a higher end full service, they might be taking care of those RSVPs for you.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
So you wouldn't have to worry about who's checking yes, no, fish, chicken, beef. They'll take care of that for you.
They can call and make those reminder phone calls for the laggers.
Absolutely. They oversee the day. They're going to, again, coordinate with the vendors, make sure that everyone's arriving on time. They have ample time for setup. They know when they need to break down, all those things. They're going to take care of all of that. And they're going to handle the crisis, the inevitable crisis that always comes up. They're going to take care of that so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, so just in case your dress button pops in the bag, not to worry, because your coordinator will have the fix for it.
Yes, absolutely. So how does that differ from a coordinator? Well, again, a planner is going to be there from the very beginning of the planning session, whereas a coordinator may not come in until 6 to 8 weeks prior to your wedding. So they're still going to do a lot of the same duties as a planner, but they're not going to be necessarily dealing with those initial negotiations and contracts. They're going to take over and look them over and make sure that they are fully knowledgeable for that day of who's supposed to be there, when they're supposed to be there, all of those informations, but they're not going to be the one that helped you do it initially. They're just going to take over where you've left
off.
off. They're still going to most likely create that detailed timeline for you because, again, like every minute of the day, they want you to be enjoying and not thinking like, oh my gosh, it's 5 till this time, I have to be this place. They're going to be the ones taking care of that detail for you. So you can relax, you can enjoy, you can be in the moment and let somebody else worry about it. They can help you create that floor plan, make sure everything is fitting where you thought it was when you initially picked out the specific tables or chairs or lounge area, photo booth. They're going to make sure that everything fits the way it's supposed to fit. And then they will probably do that final walkthrough with you at your venue because they weren't there in the initial stage of selecting the venue. They're going to want to make sure that they are, they know the venue, they see your vision, they
know the flow of the place.
Absolutely. They'll actually also go over and let you know if you've missed any details.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. I know for me in my wedding, I forgot transportation. I had a semi-destination wedding. It wasn't local. And I had booked our room not very far at all. However, walking from a not very far at all place in heels is 10 times further for some reason. I have no idea why. So luckily that was a caught mistake and we were able to get transportation booked, and so thankful for our coordinator for reminding me of that simple little detail, like, hey,
you're not going to want to
want to walk this far, 1 in heels and 2 in the cold.
And in your wedding dress too.
I didn't get dressed until I got to the venue, but my bridal party was dressed ahead of time. So yeah, that was such a huge save that again, you don't
think about it in the moment.
You're so excited about all the other big things. Sometimes those small things go through the cracks, like I said, transportation. Other times it could be, an extra cocktail server, a bar back, maybe it's a coat check. If you're having a winter wedding and, people don't want to carry around their coats all day. So, that's something that your coordinator is definitely going to help you out with.
Your coordinator was really, really good.
She was amazing. Yes. Amazing. Again, they're going to manage the rehearsal, go over all those details with you, and then they're going to oversee the day with you as well. Again, they're going to coordinate with the vendors that are there on site that day, make sure everyone, is there and they have ample time to set up, make sure that they know when to come back to pick up their equipment. They're just going to make sure all of those details are flowing.
They're going to worry about all the details so that you don't have to.
Exactly. So then we have our designers. So the designers are purely aesthetics. They are going to be there to design your vision for you. They are going to help you pick out that color palette. They're going to help you pick out every styling aspect of your wedding, whether it's your stationery, your chairs, your linens, your table sets, your floral design, anything that is aesthetically pleasing for your wedding, they're going to be doing for you.
They're going to have that checklist and go through and say, okay, you want to get this, and this.
Yes. They are probably not going to be going to your appointment for your DJ. They're not going to be going to your catering appointments.
They're just strictly the design of the look.
Absolutely. They are going to want to make the space visually appealing for you and exactly how you want it to do. They will help you narrow down that color palette. They're going to help you focus in on your theme that you are looking for. So a designer is going to be great for that person who doesn't necessarily know exactly what they want. A designer is going to be able to help you pull out your ultimate vision that you...
So you're not all over the place.
Exactly. Yes. They will oversee your budget for decor. So that is great because you definitely wouldn't want to go over. No. They're going to keep you on track. So they will definitely be in charge of all those things. Day of, they're going to be there, to make sure that the design is installed correctly. They may be the ones that actually create your floor plan because they do have that specific aesthetic in mind. So they could be actually the ones setting up your floor plan and everything. So how do you know if you need a planner, a coordinator, or a designer?
Probably depends on your budget.
Yes, 100%. Budget is everything.
Yep.
You definitely want to check in and see what the pricing is. So there's usually one of three ways that coordinators, planners, and designers do their fees. It's either a flat rate fee or an hourly rate or a percentage of your overall budget. And that could be anywhere between 10 to 30% of your full budget, depending on, again, what services they're providing. So even though your coordinator, planner, and designer, they're going to be a separate line item in your budget that you may not have initially anticipated, they can actually save you a lot of money. Again, they're going to have those built-in relationships with other vendors. They may receive some type of discount if they refer their new clients over to these vendors. They're going to be overseeing your budget. So they're going to let you know, like, hey, this is cutting it kind of close, or that's way outside. We are going to have to make other sacrifices.
And they may have other ideas too. Like you may have a certain thing in mind that you want, and they're like, that's way out of budget. But what about this?
Yes, they're going to have that experience and know how to be creative and think outside because they've seen a lot of things. They've done a lot of things. They have the experience. They have the know-how. They can make very creative decisions that you didn't necessarily think of. So again, even though it's a separate line item within your budget, a lot of times they're going to save you money. So are you short on time?
Usually, yes.
Yes. So not only maybe are you planning your wedding in a short time span, or maybe you're just really busy and just cannot dedicate the time, or you didn't know how long it was going to take. Initially, yeah, you thought like, okay, I could do this. It's not a big deal. I'm super organized. I can get all these things done. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I absolutely cannot schedule in another 5-6 hours a week to plan my wedding.
Well, I know, like myself, I always think, oh, I can do this, and you all of a sudden you got 15 different things to do. It's like, well, you're not going to get all that done in one session.
Exactly. So your planners, coordinators, and designers, they do this every day, day in, day out. They can take it over for you. So they're going to save you time on that. They have the experience, the know-how to get it all done. Are you the type of person that needs help being organized?
Yes.
So a planner, coordinator, designer, they're going to keep you organized on all those things. Again, this is their job. They know how to do this and they're very good at it. So,
let them be good at their job.
Yes, absolutely. Let them help you out. Are you planning a destination wedding? That opens a whole new can of issues that you did not think about.
I wonder, is it easier, do you think, to have a destination wedding than a in-town wedding?
I think with the right coordinator, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, the coordinators, not only, especially ones that are specifically, that's their specialty is destination weddings. They are going to be they're going to be the feet on the ground for you there.
Yes.
Which is great. They may have more experience. Most likely they're going to have more experience working with people in other countries. They probably know the language. They're going to be able to do those things for you. So if you have a destination wedding, I think you absolutely need to have a coordinator planner helping you out with that. Are you hosting a multiple day event?
Well, usually if it's a destination wedding, you definitely are.
But even local weddings too can sometimes be multiple days. Are you planning the morning after brunch? Are you planning a big rehearsal dinner prior? Are you having a welcoming party? Are you doing any of those things?
Some of those cultural weddings are like a few days to a week long too.
Exactly. So a coordinator, a planner, they're going to be able to help you on all of those days versus just the one day. Are you having your event in an unusual location? So if you're having your wedding at a banquet hall, a hotel, a restaurant, more than likely there's going to be a coordinator on site.
Yeah.
They're going to help you out a lot. But if you're having your event at a location that is not necessarily your typical event hall venue space, your planner is going to be able to help you think about all the things that
you're not going to think of.
yes. Simple things that you just assume are going to be at a location may not be if this is not a usual event space. So your planner is going to remember all of those small details that you may forget. Again, like for me, it was transportation. I forgot a transportation issue. But let's say you forget napkins. Maybe it's not your dinner napkins, but maybe you forgot cocktail napkins, and this event space does not carry cocktail napkins. I don't think that you're going to want to run and pull paper towels out of the bathroom for your cocktail napkins.
Hopefully you remembered the restroom.
That too. What if you're at a site that doesn't have restrooms and you need to make sure that you have
adequate facilities?
Yes. So your event planners, your coordinators, they're going to go over all of those details with you. They're going to see the big picture, and they're going to also focus on those small details that you may forget. And they will know what you need to bring in on a facility that is not your typical type. So again, they're going to know if you need to bring in another facility for restrooms.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the interview process. What do you ask? What do you ask when you meet your coordinator? Well, are you available for my date?
Yeah, it's first and foremost.
Absolutely.
Do you have experience in my venue location?
Yep. Are you going to be planning or coordinating any other events during that weekend by a specific wedding date?
I would think they probably wouldn't be able to, but
again, I think probably with a bigger business, maybe they have more than one coordinator, maybe they have more than one assistant, so those are questions you would want to ask. Don't ever assume that just ask.
Yes.
What services do they provide? Are they going to have a package deal for you? Are they doing a la carte? Do they specialize in specific types of services?
Or if it is a package, can you also add on a la carte items?
Yep. If you're looking for a full service, whether it's a coordinator, planner, you want to know what they need from you. What are their expectations of you? How often will you be meeting with your coordinator?
How long is our meeting?
Yes. You want to make sure that ahead of time if it's going to be once a month, once every couple weeks.
And does your meeting time also include travel time, or is that additional?
Yes.
Because sometimes you'll be traveling to different locations to look at your venue or to speak to different vendors.
Mm-hmm. How will they be communicating with you? Are they a mostly email? Do they text message? Are they calling? You want to know what's the best form of communication. Along with those experience questions, how many weddings do they plan a year? How many weddings will they be planning at the same time as yours? So again, that goes back into the communications of things. You want to make sure that if you are a person that needs to over communicate, you probably want to find a planner that is accommodating to that for you, and it knows and understands that you are an over communicator. And if you're not, then you want to make sure you find a planner that doesn't want your input on every single thing, and you want to tell them like, hey, this is my vision, help me find it, get it together,
and then show me.
And there's all kinds of planners that are going to fit with your personality. You just have to find your person.
And then you want to ask, how long have you been in business?
Are you certified? Are you licensed? How many people are on your team? What is the average size wedding that you plan? If you are looking for a very grand wedding, you may want to find a planner that has experience with grand weddings.
Very grand weddings.
And not so much elopements. Or
those...
maybe you have your heart set on an elopement and you want to find that planner that can specialize and make that elopement everything that you have envisioned. Will they be present for all the vendor meetings? Is that the type of planner that you are looking for?
And have they planned an event before the venue that you've selected?
Yep. Are are they going to handle all those vendor contracts? If that's something that you're looking for, you want to double check that they are going to be looking over your vendor contracts and your negotiations. If that's something you're looking for, if it's not, then,
And how will they handle that?
exactly. Will they only use their preferred vendors? So just like with your venues, certain coordinators will only use specific vendors that they've worked with before. And so that's something that you'll have to discuss with them. Are they open to working with other vendors or just from their preferred vendor contact list? If they are going to be your full service planner, how are they dealing with cutting the checks? Are they invoicing you for every vendor that they schedule for you? Or are you cutting a check to the vendor after the negotiation? Just kind of go over all those things. So again, each planner is going to be a little different. Some of them will say like, hey, we know we're spending this much money. This is going to be the lump sum. I'm going to cut the checks to them. I'm going to invoice you specifically for each one. Or they're going to be like, hey, here's this, cut the check. I'll make sure it gets sent out. Let me know when you've sent it.
Exactly.
Will they be dispersing all of the final payments on the day of your event? A lot of times vendors will have you pay the final portion of your contract the day of the event. So you want to make sure that they're okay dispersing those checks for you, because that's probably the last thing on your mind that day.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to have your checkbook with you.
Yes, you're not going to have your checkbook with you. You may,
Or you're not going to want to get on your phone and do a Venmo to somebody.
no, you're not going to want to do those things. So you want to make sure your planner is going to be okay with dispersing those checks and gratuities for you. A lot of times, you want to make sure that you're giving out your gratuities to your service people and just, thanking them for all of their extra work that they've done for you that day, making it over and above special for you. So your planner or coordinator will be
Hopefully in charge of that.
Hopefully taking care of that, so a family member doesn't have to.
How will they handle the RSVPs and the guest count?
Or if that is something that they do handle. Sometimes they take it over for you full force, like a concierge service. Sometimes they kind of just help you and guide you for you to take care of it. So that's something that you'll want to find out how they work that out.
Do they have photos of their previous work?
Yeah, you want to see previous work. Sometimes if you are lucky, they might even let you come in and see an event that they have set up prior to the event, which is pretty awesome. So ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing is, do they have photos of their previous work, and how do they handle pressure?
Yeah. How do you handle pressure? One of my favorite questions to ask is, if you've had challenges in the past, how did you handle it? It's very much a job interview question, but I think it works so well in this case, because what is more pressure than a wedding?
Oh, I know. I know. It's a lot of pressure.
It's not something you can redo.
Mm-hmm.
You can't recreate it. So yeah, how do you take care of that?
And then what happens if there's inclement weather? What's the plan B?
What is plan B? You want to definitely ask those questions. As with any other vendor, you want to ask if there's any overtime charges, if there's going to be anything that's going to be included outside of the initial cost quoted. So once you've gone through that interview and they send over that contract, you definitely want to just, again, make sure that you know all of the pricing up front so you're not shocked
There's
later.
no surprises.
Yes. If there was an overtime fee that you didn't know about, because again, that can come up and you kind of want to have that built into your budget just in case.
Guest lists. So how many people are planning to make decisions? Are they all based on your guest count from the venue to the menu and even your budget?
Yeah. So everything that you are planning in your wedding most likely is going to have a cost associated with the guest count. So if you have a smaller guest count, it's going to cost less. I mean,
unless it's extravagant.
True. But think about like your venue. You don't need to book 1,000-person venue if you're only having 25 people, right?
True.
And I'm more than likely your venue for 1,000 people is going to be more expensive than one for 25 people.
Exactly.
Same with catering. Catering is probably going to be more expensive for 1,000 people versus the 25 people that you're thinking. So you really need to go over the guest count early on in the planning process. And that can be fun, but it can
not
be
so fun.
it can be not so fun. It's really hard because you want to invite everybody you know and every person that has ever meant something to you. But realistically, we can't always do that.
Well, yeah, because they typically have a +1.
Yes. So I think when you start thinking about your discount and you're talking with your partner, the first thing you want to do kind of is make that fantasy list of every person. If you could possibly invite every single person that you ever wanted to, money wasn't an option, venue size wasn't an option, destination wasn't an option, who would be on that list? So start there, put every person there and kind of, I know this is going to sound bad, but rank them by importance. And the reason why I say that is because inevitably you're going to have to cut people.
Yes.
It is just the way it works. So if you rank them by importance, you can start at the bottom of the list and work your way back up.
Well, I remember what you did too. You had like 3 or 4 separate lists. One was like your immediate family. And then there was your, not the immediate family, but still family. And then your friends. And yeah, so 3 different types.
Yeah. So I always say when you're making your list, you definitely want to break it out into 2 specific lists. One is family and then it's friends. And again, you still want to rank those by importance. And then you also kind of want to make some rules with your partner when you're going over your list. So that way, when it comes to making those hard decisions, you can revert back to those rules and it'll kind of help you, even though sometimes it feels really harsh and it feels bad to say that you're cutting somebody off the list. This is for your budget and your future. So you definitely want to.
Well, you can't, yeah. You have to stick to your budget.
You have to stick to your budget. So this makes it easier to have maybe not such big disagreements about whether we're inviting
Aunt Sue from three
times removed,
yeah.
or whatever it may be. So again, like I said, you want to make those lists, the family and friends, and then we're going to make some rules. So maybe your rules are you're not inviting kids. Maybe that's one of your rules. Maybe you've decided that you really can't afford to invite all your coworkers. So you're not going to invite coworkers because you don't want to, maybe you don't want to just invite one because you don't want it to get around the office that you only invited one person and not everybody. So maybe we're just not inviting coworkers. Or maybe it's going to be that you're not going to do +1s unless
only significant others.
Only significant others. Yeah. So if you start out with those, that can kind of help cut down some of the list. And then I like to do what I call like my little questions list, right? So when it comes to your family, what I say is you say, okay, is this immediate family or extended family? Immediate family, definitely get an invitation, right?
Exactly.
Extended family, are we close with them? Do we see them all the time? Has my significant other met them yet? If it's a no, then maybe they're on your B list. Yeah. And you wait until you get those initial RSVPs back from everyone on your A list. And if you've got people that dropped off, because that does happen, sometimes it's on a weekend that they can't come, they have other things scheduled, or maybe you have one of those rules where, they don't have kids, so their kids can't come, so they may not be able to come. Whatever it may be, somebody from your A list may not be able to come, so you can bring someone over from the B list.
Correct.
So, extended family, your significant other has met them, then they're on that B list. If they aren't, they're kind of cut. It's an easy one. Just cut them. It's okay. Friends, there's some complications with it, right? Because You've got some different types of friends. You've got your really good friends. They're obviously going to be on your invite list.
Because they're almost like family.
Usually. But then you've got like your used to be good friends. So for them, I say, can you see yourself becoming good friends with them again? Is it like just a relationship that maybe they moved and you just haven't had time, but like once your wedding is done being planned, you're going to be able to spend more time with them, then give them the invite.
Yeah.
If they're not, then maybe they get cut.
Seems so harsh.
It does seem harsh, but the truth of it is, like, you aren't going to be able to invite every single person as much as you would want to. Unless, you've got that unlimited budget, then hey, yes, invite everybody and send me an invite too. I love weddings. I'm happy to attend. But yeah, you kind of do have to be a little harsh when it comes to the guest list. Are they an old friend from the past? If you've talked to them in the last year, invite them. If you haven't, then maybe they're on your B list and you wait and see who has declined from your A list. And then if they're just an acquaintance, I say cut them.
You're out.
Yeah. If you have to make those harsh decisions of who's coming, you gotta.
Well, yeah, like you said, unless you have an unlimited budget, then you can invite everybody and their grandmas too.
Yeah. And then with that, I do say always leave a little bit room for grace. I said no kids at my wedding, and it was because, one, we had a smaller event space. Two, it just wasn't in our budget. And a lot of times when it comes to catering, kids are counted as adults. There's no kid price. You don't get that $10 kid meal on a $52 per person head. Like, it's $52 for the kids too. Yeah. So that's hard. However, I did have some family and friends that had just had babies. They weren't ready to leave their babies, and we let those few people come that had their babies. They didn't count as a, full adult, but I always say give yourself a little bit of grace too. Even though
you can't be so rigid.
No, you do have to give yourself a little bit of space.
Well, that's quite an endeavor. But so we've gone through the importance of the different type of planners versus coordinators and designers. And we've gone through that guest list and those tough questions to ask, and having to cut people that we may not want to. So I'd also want to talk about our sponsors on a higher note.
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure we give special thanks to our media sponsor, which is Real Weddings Magazine. And their new magazine should be distributed a little bit later this month. And we have a brand new ad in there. So make sure you look at that and check it out. We also want to give special thanks to our grand prize sponsor, Retreat Salon and Spa. And they have a beautiful grand prize basket that they are going to be raffling off.
Yes.
And you can go to our website, weddingshowcase.org, to look at the extensive list of the wonderful, beautiful items beauty products that they are giving away.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this basket is over $1,300 worth of products. So head on over, check it out, get your name entered into this raffle to win that $1,300 worth of products. Over $1,300.
And also they're having the beauty treatments are in there. There's gift cards for different beauty treatments. So some of those treatments I'd like to have for myself.
Absolutely, yes. So thank you, Retreat Salon and Spa.
So we also have other sponsorship opportunities up on our website. So if you're interested in making a greater impact, we would love for you to be a sponsor. We are still looking for, like I said, several different categories. We do still have some booths available. If you are a wedding professional and you want to get your business in front of thousands of engaged people, head on over to our website and go to reserve our booth. Again, as Desiree mentioned, if you register your wedding, we will send you a discount code so that you can get discount tickets into the showcase. And then, of course, we have our VIP tickets as well. So very excited. When is the show again, Desiree?
It's going to be Sunday, February 25th at Cal Expo. And again, if you head over to our website and you register your wedding, that is how you are entered to win your prizes. So not only the Retreat Salon and Spa $1,300 prize, but there are other prizes that are going to be announced later on. So you want to get your name and your wedding registered to win those things.
So thank you so much for joining us on our this lovely day, and hope to see you on February 25th.